Hi, I'm one of your marker pop colorists. Today I'm going to show you a technique that I'm using to sponge a snowy background into one of my holiday winter scenes. Okay. I'm going to be using an image by Fawn called Winter Penguin. I'm going to be using a very smooth paper called Express It. There's very little tooth on this, and it's perfect for a sponging technique. And I'm going to demonstrate how we can use a dauber with Ranger Distress ink. This is tumbled glass, just to give us a snowy background effect. You can use either one you want. One is by like a Tim Holtz Ranger dauber, and the other is a Sukaniko. Either will work. And I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black just to stamp my little image with. I'm going to begin by just sponging some ink over the top of a Post-it note. The Post-it note is very thin and is perfect to be able to use as a mask, to be able to sponge over the top. And I just want in irregular little lines that will give the effect of snowbanks. So just a little tear here. Get a little bit of a curve. It doesn't need to be real extreme. I think I will add just a little more here. But a little curve will do it to begin with. And I will place it on the paper. And I'm going to be just sponging on top of the paper, off the paper. Begin with your Post-it note and sponge off the note onto your paper. And to begin with, use a very light touch. It's amazing how just a little bit of ink can give you a very dramatic effect. Now I'm going to place my stamped image, and I'm going to ink it with Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm just going to have one little foot kind of on the Post-it note, so he kind of looks like his foot is kind of in the snow. And then I'm going to just begin sponging around it. Kind of move it in a position where the snowbank again looks like it kind of goes over the little foot and around our little penguin. And then reposition and sponge again. Just around, giving a very soft, gentle snowbank effect. There is a wonderful artist and illustrator called Teresa Momber. Her website is Crafting the Web, and she is a fantastic artist with sponging. I think she was one of the very first I encountered, and I've been following her for years, and her sponging techniques are wonderful. If you like sponging, take a look at her web. Again, Crafting the Web. She does a beautiful job. Now do you see how just continually repositioning your little sponging mask and applying color from the Post-it and sponging gently off the Post-it onto the paper gives you a very gentle inking background. If you would want to apply, say, a darker horizon, you could have done that. But I'm going to keep this very soft, just as an introductory example for sponging. And now I'm taking my dauber and I'm sponging from off the paper onto my focal image. By beginning with the like your scrap paper and sponging then onto your image, it will allow a smoother blend, and it will avoid placing a big glob of ink on your focal image where you don't want it. You'll have much more control over the application of your ink. You'll notice that the sky is a blue-green, and that is picked up, that very same color, on the snowbanks. The shadows of the sky just are reflected with the same blue-green on the snow. I'm just coloring the little penguin now with a cool gray, a C3, flicking toward the highlight and just putting down some color that will allow me to put my darker colors in with a smoother blend. Putting my, mapping some shadow area in there. Any area that is obscuring the light source, hidden by, say, maybe a cast shadow under the scarf. And a little around the back of the head, just to allow the head to have more of a rounded dimension. Isn't he just a cutie? Now I'm going to take some of the same blue-green and just apply a few little shadow areas in there. Not all of the white area, but the areas under the scarf and any area where I want it to appear more rounded or more dimensional. And we're going to put some green on our little scarf, again applying a base coat. Now applying a G24 for a shadow area. Just flicking toward the highlight, getting some shadows in there. Then blending again out with my G12. Putting a little orange nose on, yellow. I think this is a Y02, and then I'm putting a Y14 over the top of that, and then blending. Now there you have your little image, and I want to apply some snow just to give it a little more interest. And so I'm just putting sporadic dots, and you'll notice I'm using a stylus rather than a brush. I find it's easier for me to get more of a dimensional snowflake this way. A brush will flatten my Copic, whereas my Copic white ink will have a more of a rounded dimensional look with my stylus. I know people use different techniques, but this was worked the best for me in my experience. Now, if it's snowing, he's going to have a little snow on him too. So I have some little snowflakes on him and his little scarf, and I kind of clustered some down by his feet. So there you go. You can see the dimensional look. Hope you enjoy this. Give it a try, and we'll do more sponging later.